For more now, let's bring in Middle East specialist Filippo Dionigi in Bristol. Thank you for joining us, Filippo. Hezbollah, a Hamas ally, tensions have definitely ticked up since the start of the war. How would you say the current tensions that we're seeing now compare to what we've seen in the past? Is this the worst things have ever been?
What we've seen in the tensions that we see now are extremely high, but I would say is not the worst thing that we've seen so far. The 2006 war, for example, was definitely even more violent and broader in scope in terms of targets. So we're still not there yet, but we are definitely witnessing an increased tension and one that risks of going out of hand and possibly expand at a regional level.
Israel has made quite a few gains against Hezbollah now recently. How badly has Hezbollah been hit?
Well, we saw that Hezbollah in the last only in the last 48 hours has lost four fighters. One of them is a leading fighting figure, is Wissam al-Tawil, and therefore, this marks a significant result at the military level for Israel. I don't think this necessarily hurts Hezbollah in terms of military capacity. Killing and targeted killing is definitely something that has a lot of symbolic value and has a lot of strategic value as well. But as a matter of fact, Hezbollah is a large military force and therefore has the capacity to substitute its losses quickly and therefore to catch up with any loss that they may have suffered.
So given that, what is Hezbollah's end game? What does it hope to achieve?
Well, it's an interesting question. I think the main objective here of Hezbollah's intervention in this war since October 8 has been that of diverting the attention and the capacity of Israel to operate in Gaza as much as they wanted to, and to an extent, they actually managed to shift significantly this because Israel had to deploy its army significantly also on the northern border, and it has to, and about 80,000 Israelis have been evacuated from northern Israel towards other parts of Israel that are safer in that respect. So here, the strategic rationale is that of exacerbating the sense of insecurity of Israel and trying to tire the Israeli military capacity while being engaged both in Gaza and on the northern border.
Do you think the Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah has perhaps gotten himself into a dangerous, a tricky position? Could he be teasing Israel into a war that he actually doesn't want?
Well, it's a complicated situation. What we have seen so far is, this increase in tensions, and definitely, this has brought about an increase in quantity and quality of the targets on both sides. Because it's true, Hezbollah has been targeted in Lebanon, but it's also true that Hezbollah has responded and has responded always in a commensurate way by targeting higher military value targets within Israel, right? So this has increased the quantity and the quality of the targets, but has not yet fundamentally changed the nature of the conflict itself. So far, this is a conflict that is still within the sort of rules of engagement that have shaped this conflict for a long time. So there is a risk of further escalation, and there is a possibility that this may go out of hand and become an all-out war. But for how things are, it doesn't look like this is necessarily the outcome of this process for now. It seems like there is restraint, especially on the side of Hezbollah, whereas Israel is trying to constantly provoke a reaction from Hezbollah that may possibly justify an escalation to a greater extent.
Hezbollah, of course, backed by Iran. How big a role is Iran playing in this conflict at the moment?
Well, directly, Hezbollah is backed by Iran, but the idea that Hezbollah is simply an instrument in Iran's hands is a little bit simplistic. It's been considered more as almost an equal partner at this point because it has grown in capacity and in autonomy to an extent, although it's still entirely dependent in terms of economic and military support from Iran, of course. Iran has intervened more at the regional level, possibly. It has been involved directly and indirectly. But also, an important thing is that Iran itself has made clear that it doesn't want this conflict to escalate at the level of an all out war at the regional level, which is something that, after all, also the US has said. So, if there is something that can actually contain the possibility of a broader all-out war at the regional level, is the fact that both global actors such as the US and Iran at a regional level they do not seem to have an interest in this escalation to happen. It is perhaps Israel that is tempted by the possibility of this conflict to expand even further.
In the meantime, though, this is causing havoc for civilians on the border. Strikes have been taking place on a daily basis since the start of hostilities 3 months ago, forcing tens of thousands of people to flee their homes on both sides of the border. Just a quick word before you go on the situation for them.
Yeah, I agree. The distress and the situation is serious on both sides. Israel and Israeli citizens want to go back to the northern area, and obviously also the Lebanese to leave South Lebanon to relocate in safer places. And again, their situation is dire, especially if you consider the Lebanese case, where the economic situation is devastating. Politically, Lebanon is not functioning at the moment, and is also a country that is hosting already 1 million Syrian refugees from the Syrian conflict itself. So again, internal displacement is it's a further layer of misery for a people that is already tried at the ultimate level by the whole regional situation of the past decade.
Filippo, thank you so much. That's Filippo Dionigi, a Middle East specialist, speaking to me live from Bristol. Thanks so much.